Here's what's coming up on your horizon. Memorial Day means different things to different people. For some, it's the start of summer, and for others, a welcome day off from work. But for the men and women who serve our country, Memorial Day often holds a completely different significance. Today, we hope to honor those who have served in uniform and have sacrificed so much for our country. Stay with us for Oklahoma Horizon.
Oklahoma Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education.
Oklahoma's investment in career tech provides more than nationally recognized technology education and training. It produces solid financial returns for the state's economic future. Oklahoma Career Tech, elevating our economy.
And the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. And now, from the Career Tech Studios in Stillwater, here's your host, Rob McClendon.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, approximately every 3 minutes, a memory of World War II fades away. Even the bravest of warriors must yield to the inalterable march of time. It has now been 70 years since the men and women of what has been called our greatest generation fought and won the largest conflict our world has ever known. And that's where we begin, with the Oklahoma farm boy off at college by the name of Jack Givens, whose life, like many boys of his generation, changed dramatically on December 7th, 1941.
It was on a Sunday, and I remember hearing on the radio. Of course, they were still sinking ships and everything else at that time, but we had no idea because we were in ROTC.
In ROTC, Jack went on to officer candidate school, only to find himself on the beaches of Normandy, leading a platoon fighting their way through France.
We got pinned down with this rifle fire, and as a mortar shell came and went back behind us a couple hundred yards, and then as another one came, and it went in front of us. So I told the sergeant, the next round's coming right on the top of us. And I said, you better hit the ground. And the next round came, it just decimated our unit. We were out in front. I've been hit in the face here. This is just a fragment of the shell hit.
Wounded and far away from home, young Jack was hospitalized for months.
I was really feeling sorry for myself, what I was going to look like. And I heard all this moaning and groaning in there, so I walked in there. And here's guys with their legs blown off and their arms blown off and all that. So I no longer felt sorry for myself.
Sent back to the front lines, Givens likes to tell people he walked and crawled his way across Europe, dodging German bullets.
You could have got killed so many times that you didn't, you know. And I felt watched over, I guarantee you for sure.
Wounded twice more, Mr. Givens earned 3 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star before his war ended on a mission behind German lines in the early spring of 1945.
And the Americans were going to go around this mountain with tanks, and we'd take this town and cut the Autobahn and hold it. Well, this was like midnight, and we got over this hill there, and there was a guard there, but he was asleep. He was leaning up against a chair. He didn't know there was any Americans anywhere close by. And then we captured over 200 there just inside this building, didn't kill anybody. And we decided to make our headquarters the biggest building we'd find there, and it was like a 5 or 6 story hotel is what it was.
But the next morning, Givens found his company surrounded by German troops, fighting their way out, no longer an option.
And we threw down hand grenades in this open half-track, but then they called in a tank, brought a big tank in there, and they was just blowing the sides out. So I told them then to everybody, we just had like 30 men left out of our company by that time. I said, just go ahead and surrender.
But once captured, Jack Givens could even make a friend with his enemies.
They were taking me up to the commander up there while he was interrogating him, and he said, where'd you get that hole in your face there? And I said, there's a place named called Fillet Gap in Normandy. And he pulled his boot off and pulled up his pants leg, and he had a scar down about 10 inches long down this leg. He said, I got that at the Fillet Gap just for, we were the ones that was right next to you. And he just laughed about that.
Mr. Givens was more than happy to leave the war behind, finishing up college and teaching ag education in California, until the opportunity to come back home and farm. According to the U.S. Veterans Administration, World War II veterans are dying off at a rate of 492 a day. Of the 16 million Americans who served in World War II, only 1 million now survive, with roughly 11,000 living in Oklahoma. When we return, I sat down with the best-selling author James Bradley to find out why it took 50 years to tell the personal story of his father and the raising of the American flag on Iwo Jima.